Here it is, 3rd and 16.
You got to find some magic here and give yourselves a chance.
He fires. He completes it. He's going to have a first down or more. Down the left sideline.
Go, son. Go, son. Unhook the trailer. Unhook the trailer, damn it.
And with 1:05 remaining, the Eagles have a first and goal from the 5.
Damn it, you slug. I'm sorry. I'm happy. I promise.
With the running back coming in, we knew it was man. Jalen alerted the play, got us to a good play.
What did Jalen change the play to? The classic man coverage beater, mesh. It has a high percentage of success as long as you do your job.
You know, Jahan did a great job picking for me legally. He made a couple defenders run into each other, did his job to the best of his ability. When I caught the ball, I looked, I said, where is everybody? And then, you know, I just ran as fast as I could, as long as I could.
Mesh was their go-to concept all game against man coverage, including this pass to Devontae Smith for a long gain in the first quarter. And just a few minutes earlier in the fourth quarter, to Dallas Goedert going the other way. When teams run mesh concepts versus man coverage, there are two things defenders need to remember. One, trail directly behind their coverage responsibility, and two, keep their eyes up and looking ahead so as to avoid colliding with each other, like what happened with the Saints on this play.
Dallas Goedert's had his best game of the year by far in the game they've needed him the most.
The defense gave us a shot all the way to the end, and when the offense needed to step up and do it, we were able to, so it feels really good.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What it do, what it do, what it do. This is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm in way more hostile and less humble host, Cassius Cliff. We back with another episode, and obviously, as you saw in that opening clip, and I mentioned y'all in that last video. And really, let me pause. Before we get into the content, thank you for everyone that's liked, share, subscribe, as well as comment. It goes a long way. Simply, thank you. But as I was just saying, as y'all saw in that opening clip and I mentioned in that last video, Jalen Hurts absolutely checked into that play and made that game-winning drive happen up here, cerebrally. You have to do that if you're going to be a top quarterback in this league, and really, given that you don't have your best two targets out there, you're going to have to outsmart the defense instead of actually beat them with skill and talent. Because with Dallas Goedert being our best pass catcher, Saquon being in the backfield, what was it, 3rd and 16 on our own 30? And how did the game end? And people wanted to say that it was luck. The Saints played horrible coverage. That was a man coverage, man beater. Jalen saw it early. He called it early. That's ball game. And really, we're going to need a lot more of that coming to Tampa Bay, given that we're going to take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in Tampa. And obviously, there's a lot of people that are supposed to be going to the game, given that there was Hurricane, what was it, Helene? Some people did not go. I, for one, I was never planning to go, but I know for a fact, no matter if there was going to be a hurricane or not, Hurts is going to show up. He's going to do what he needs to do, because it's about time he got his lick back when it comes to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And me, really and truly, I'm tired of losing to these guys. They're not nearly as good, especially given the fact we saw them earlier last season in the regular season. We absolutely smoked them boys. Like, they could not hang with us early in the game. It looked like it was going to be close, and it was not competitive towards the end. It was a wrap. So that being said, not only can I not stand the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield, all those guys, I'm tired of losing to these motherfuckers, man. Dating back to like Rondé Barber days, I'm just tired of losing to the Bucs. And really, we should not lose. We shouldn't lose. We can't afford to lose. If we really want to actually have some kind of leverage and room when it comes to the division, it's imperative and it's important that we win this game. Yes, there's no A.J. Brown. Yes, there's no Smitty. But for me, I think we have enough, given the fact they don't have Antoine Winfield. Vita Vea's on the bubble. Luke Giddicky, their left tackle, right tackle, he's out. So that being said, yes, no AJ, no Smitty, but Lane is back, Mekhi Becton is back, Slay is back. I'm just tired of losing to these guys. If you're going to be a team that's going to actually threat people in the playoffs, actually make it to the playoffs, these are the kind of games you have to win despite the injuries you have. And yes, the receiving core that we're going to try out there is going to be trash. It's going to be mid. I mean, on Madden, this is probably cool, given that you got speed, you got a big body in Johnny Wilson. But in real life, this ain't what you want to have out there. It really ain't. But when it comes to guys like Saquon Barkley, even though he doesn't have a C on his chest, being a leader that he is, leading a young guy like Jalen Carter, and making him tap in and say, yo, you are one of them dogs. People are afraid of you. They don't want to see you on the other side of the field. And he reminds him of that. Before that Saints game, a game that virtually no one picked us to win. And what did he do? He showed up and he actually showed out. And he was just all over the field. Guys could not contain him. And really, they was hoping. They was hoping that the double team would work. And it didn't mean anything. Because Jalen Carter, not only is he a dog, a Georgia Bulldog, but he's one of those guys that's going to actually help us secure this win. If we have a chance of doing that, we're going to need to lean on guys like Jalen Carter, Saquon Barkley, Dallas Goedert, and really obviously QB1, Jalen Hurts. But let's go ahead and get into it. Let's look at a couple clips from the last Tampa Bay game and really upcoming matchup. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, obviously, this is a team that's had our numbers recently. But as you can see here, this is not the same Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I saw this clip before I realized that we had this matchup coming up this week. And in my mind, I'm like, God damn, he broke that man. And I know this is a backup running back. Yes, he's not an absolute scrub. He's a pro. He's an NFL player. But Saquon Barkley, if this guy can do this to this defense, and obviously this is like poor tackling, poor technique. But Saquon Barkley is, by my opinion, my estimation, the best running back in the league right now, especially with CMC virtually punting on the season with that Achilles injury. And I told a couple of y'all, Saquon should absolutely feast on this D-line and in this defense, given that they allowed over 130 yards rushing to guys like Javonte Williams and McLaughlin. I can't even say his last name. I mean, yes, this is not a top-tier defense or even a top-tier running defense, but that's not a top-tier running offense either. And really, that's not even the only way we can take advantage, because I just mentioned that right tackle being out, but really this defense, that offensive line is bruised, battered, and hurt right now. We already saw what happened when the Saints lost their center. We absolutely, let me not even say we. Jalen Carter absolutely took advantage of that D-line, and really even guys like Milton Williams, even Jordan Davis was showing up on the stat sheet and making plays. So it is imperative that this D-line actually shows up and show out. Bryce Huff, if you have a ounce of pride and really professional skill, you're going to show up in this game, given that you're going against a backup that'll allow 3 sacks in one game, if not 2 sacks and 3 pressures, whatever the fuck it was. He was not good by any stretch. And as I just mentioned, not only was that right tackle getting abused, that entire O-line led up 7 sacks last week to the Broncos. I don't remember the Broncos being a top flight defense, but they looked like it that game, shutting them out 27-7 in their house in Tampa Bay. Yes, we don't have a PS2, at corner. Patrick Surtain is absolutely the best corner in the entire NFL. But given the fact that we have a guy like Slay that's coming back, Quinyon Mitchell, the young stud, and a D-line that is hungry and eager to make a point and really to make a statement, especially against a team that absolutely embarrassed us last season in the postseason, we got to get our lick back. It's just about time, and I think this is a great opportunity not only for us to do that, but for us to create some separation in this division, given the fact we're going against a team that is just not that good, and really, they're hurt right now. Yes, we're hurt, but we just have more dogs on our team, and I feel like we're primed in position to do that. But given the defense that we got, and we got obviously the D-line that we have with Jordan Davis, Milton Williams, and Jalen Carter, Zach Bond has been not only a revelation, but he's been like a godsend. This is a guy that I thought was going to just be a special teams ace, and that'll be it. Maybe come down on a couple rotational plays, but he's absolutely been not only the best linebacker on our team, I feel like he's been the best linebacker in the division. They may not be saying much, but given the fact that I never anticipated linebacker being a position that we could lean on, I'm gonna take my my winnings and run with it, because a guy like Zach Bond being second in tackles in the entire NFL, I think he's tied, if not leading the team in sacks. I mean, come on. You got to lean on a guy like that when you absolutely need it, given the fact that the offense is hurt. And I don't expect a high production from the offense in this game against a guy like Todd Bowles, who's going to absolutely pressure Hurts and make Hurts pass the ball to win this game. Yeah, Saquon is Saquon, and he's a freak, but he's going to put Hurts in those positions to win this game on his arm and not his legs. That's just what Todd Bowles has done, and he's that good of a coach to actually be, the game plan, the scheme, the defense that they wanted for us to actually have to play that way. But given the fact that I feel like our defense is more than willing and ready to stop that offense, yes, they have Mike Williams and Chris Godwin, but with the pressure we should be able to apply on these guys, especially given the fact that their run offense is just not up to par, the defense should be able to hold their own and be able to actually hold them under 20 points. But the offense is going to have to lean heavily on guys like Dallas Goedert, given the fact he had his biggest game as a pro. This is just one of the biggest catches he had in that game. I mean, butt wide open, butt naked open. He should have broke that tackle and scored on that touchdown, in my opinion. But 10 catches for 170 yards, I will take that week in and week out. You're talking about the first team All-Pro if he does that, and like the best tight end in the league if he does that. Not only do I not expect that in this game, given the fact that they know well and good we do not have our two best pass catchers, and they're going to focus on him. He's going to have his opportunities, though. Given the fact, again, this is Todd Bowles. He's going to blitz, and it's going to be those opportunities for him to get a quick catch and make some gains and make some yardage on those catches. Some yards after catch opportunities. They're going to be there. But it always starts with Saquon. I mean, just look at these two plays right here. This is the Green Bay game. This is the first clip, looking at that big run by him against Green Bay in Sao Paulo. Now, obviously, he didn't score on this run, but the blocking was there, and obviously he had the lane, and he just didn't get it, given the fact that AJ, he was a little mad at himself. He should have had that block. But as you can see in the very next clip, Saquon, not only is he, I think, the best running back in the league, he has too much of a good offensive line, and it gives him too many opportunities to do things like this on a weekly basis. This is two separate games, and the play is almost identical. At least it looks like it, aside from actually him hitting the head on the goalpost and scoring. Saquon Barkley is not only the best option we have offensively, we have to lean on a guy like that, given the fact he's going to open up the entire offense and allow our defense to not only be on the field the entire game, but be in a position to actually stop Baker Mayfield and Chris Godwin, and as well as Mike Evans. Those are guys I respect highly. They've cooked us more than enough times for me to have to respect them. But really and truly, given the way that the Broncos played them last week, and we have a great opportunity not only to repeat that, because we went against the Saints that everybody thought they was world beaters, and now everybody's like, oh, we didn't think they was world beaters. We just thought, nah, stand on it. Y'all thought the Saints was great, so go ahead and think the Saints are great, because after what we did to them last week, nobody wants to say that, but it is what it is. We moving on from the Saints. What it is. We moving on from the Saints. We're on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and really and truly, I'm tired of losing to these guys. I'm tired of losing to them, and I'm tired of losing to them. Obviously, we don't have AJ. We have yet to beat them without AJ, and now we have no AJ and no Smitty. And really and truly, bro, it's a tough one to call, but I'm gonna call it right now. Given the fact if the Broncos could do this shit, we absolutely can do that the same thing to them, if not something vaguely similar in terms of how to win in the fashion in which we will win. Right now, I'm calling it. I'm gonna go ahead and call it 21-17. Philly in Tampa Bay. I do think it's going to be a closer game than some people may anticipate, but ultimately, without our two best pass catchers, I just don't feel it. I just don't see us scoring a ton of points unless Saquon scores 3 touchdowns and has 300 yards. Hopefully, that would be great if that happened, but I just don't see that happening. And before we even go ahead and close this video out, I definitely want to shout out one person in particular. I don't know you personally, and for some odd reason, I happen to see the sub come across my phone. But Flaccid Slurps, not only I appreciate you following, I appreciate your courage, because this is a wild ass name to make your handle on YouTube, and that somebody's gonna see especially if you subscribe to somebody, they're gonna see that name, bro. And best believe I've been asking people, especially the wild dudes that I know, is this you? Like, nobody has claimed it, but whoever you are, Flaccid Slurps, I know that I appreciate your subscription. I appreciate your courage, your tenacity, and really just your patronage. It is appreciated. I thank you. But as I mentioned before, and I'll say it again, if anybody needs to step up the most on the defensive line, it's going to have to be Bryce Huff, given the fact, I don't know, Bryce Huff, on the field, you show you soft. In this screenshot right here, showing that you soft, that you removed all your Eagles, not only clips or even posts, whatever the case is, you removed all that shit. So I don't know if you're on the move, I don't know if we're on the verge of getting Hassan Riddick back, but if you're gonna have any kind of respect given to you or earned by the fans or even ops, this is the game to do it. Especially if we're gonna move your ass. Go ahead and bring that trade value up, bro. Because the fact that you had deleted all your Eagle stuff on your Instagram after you did another poor performance, I mean, what's going on here? What's going on? I guess we're gonna find out soon enough. But with that being said, again, this is the Talk My Shit Again podcast. I'm your less humble and more hostile host, Cassius Cliff. We out to the next one. Peace.